Mm. There we go. Welcome to Small Town Mentality Podcast. I'm your host, Ben. Randy's here.
How's it going?
And Mark is observing. We're going to try to get him to be more of a guest.
Okay. Glad to be here, man. Very, very cool setup.
Yeah, Mark's the local. He's a local radio legend.
That's using that term loosely. Did it for a long time. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. We had a guest booked for tonight, and Mark wanted to just come in and hang out and observe. And then the guest ghosted me. So
Nice.
we made Mark sit down with us. But yeah, you're thinking about starting your own show.
Yeah. And I'm not sure, I think certainly one kind of channel would be Evanston history.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that is something that I have a passion for, and I've done a lot of research.
Mm-hmm.
But, just kind of weighing some options about what would be the most fun.
Yeah.
But I do miss broadcasting, and this is, about the closest thing to it.
Yeah, actually, to be honest with you, a lot of broadcasters have moved to podcasting.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of the way the world's going right now. A lot of people are starting them. Some people that shouldn't be, including myself. But yeah, a lot of people that did radio and stuff that are no longer working in that field or doing podcasting, because podcasting has no rules.
True.
So I mean, you can do whatever you want. You can say whatever you want.
No FCC. Yeah.
Besides music's kind of an issue still. You can't be playing other people's tunes.
It's more of a copyright thing, though.
Yeah, I think it's mostly YouTube too. So who knows? But yeah, so Evanston history.
That would be a good one.
A lot of it out there, man.
I always thought you were more into music.
I am. I still do the mobile DJ thing. I probably put my music collection up against about anybody. 5,000 CDs maybe, and who knows how much I've taken digitally.
Yeah.
A lot of that came about from working in radio. You got a lot of demo CDs free. And then when I used to go on trips, like to call basketball or football games, say I'm in Cheyenne and I've got some time to kill, I'd go hit pawn shops and buy CDs, $2 a piece.
Yeah.
And that's where I amassed most of my collection, was through pawn shops.
Nice. Yeah, I actually like pawn shops myself.
They're fun.
I got a little antique collection. I like pawn shops, antique stores, just junk shops. Junk shops are my favorite.
Yeah.
When they don't really have a price on things and things are just like piled up everywhere. I love going and just messing around, looking through all that stuff.
Cool.
So I find some gems.
Yeah, I like going to the pawn shop too. You can get some pretty good games, secondhand games up there.
Yeah.
Used to go and look at the guitars, but I recently made peace with the fact that I just suck at guitar, and nothing is going to change that. So
practice might change that.
Okay, nothing short of actual effort on my part is going to change that, and that's just out of the question.
I just don't think I could do it.
Oh.
I'm in a band and been around some very accomplished musicians for most of my life, but guitar just seems so. I tried with a video, and I just maybe keyboards. I don't really know how to play a thing. That's.
Yeah, he's the singer, right? You're a singer?
Just a singer in a rock and roll band, man.
Yeah, he's the face. Yeah, your band is Bones, right?
Right, Bone.
Yeah. We don't have a song of the week this week. If you got something for me, play some Bone at the end of the show.
All right, I'll see if I've got something on that laptop.
That'll work, man. I'll add that in post for people and for audio only. Mark's actually, I think you've been on 2 of my shows. One where I interviewed you. I don't do that show anymore.
Right.
And then you've been on this show once where we made
was you and AJ, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, we made you do a lot of impressions. Randy's actually decent with impressions as well.
He and I were actually in a play last summer with Sagebrush.
Yeah, the 80s, the fundraiser.
Yeah,
nice.
That was fun. He does a mean Dangerfield, man.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, that's right. He did the Dangerfield does Eminem, or Eminem does Dangerfield. One of the two.
No, Dangerfield doing Eminem lyrics.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, I'm trying to remember some of the stuff we talked about on the interview show, because that's no longer around. I remember you telling some stories about old school Evanston and how packed and stuff the bars were.
Oh yeah,
some
during the
bands and
boom.
stuff. Yeah.
It's crazy. When you see a town swell to like 18,000 when it was 8, 10 maybe, because we'd really dropped down late 70s. And it kind of started about the time I left to go to college. But, I'd come back once in a while on weekends and then for holidays and stuff. But just to see the town grow and grow and grow. And it was, you would have live music at probably 5-6 different bars. Boomtown had bars, or Boomtown had live music. Whirlwind had live music. The Outpost had live music. The old where MRSI is, that was a bowling alley called Becker's. They had live music at times. Billy's, and you can't forget Billy's Country Music Emporium. They were bringing in people like, Hank Williams Jr., Mel Tillis, the big names in country. It was a 1,000-seater club, and they pack it out because there was so much money in town.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But yeah, it was a crazy time.
Yeah, I remember seeing some Becker's brewery stuff at what is that store downtown? Secondhand Rose or something. They had like a bunch of ashtrays and a bunch of memorabilia from that brewery. Yeah,
it started actually in Ogden, and then they made a branch up here, and the Ogden branch didn't like it so much because the Wyoming brewer was better than the mother company.
Yeah, because 5.5.
I actually did a research paper on that my senior year in high school, and I went into the place where the brewery used to be with a guy who had not been there since they closed it like in 49, and he was in his 90s, and he was sharp as could be. He pointed out the whole brewing process, and if something wasn't there, he told me what used to be in that place, because it was a warehouse at the time.
Yeah.
Down there by about where Kick Chevron is now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, very cool.
I remember Suds Brothers Brewery. I don't know why I'm the only one that remembers this, because I've asked people and they have no idea. I was like, I'm pretty sure this used to be a bookstore at one point.
Suds Brothers?
Yeah.
It was J.C. Penney's.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, that was the old Penny store. And then a guy named James Bond bought it, and he had the first brewery there. And then, of course, Travis Martinez and his family took it over from there.
That was one of the first J.C. Penney's in the country, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kimmer was number 1, and it's still around. My wife bought some shirts there not too long ago. still kicking, man.
Yeah,
it might be the only one left. I mean, it was the first one, and now might be it's getting
they've
close.
got a few, but I think the bulk of their business is done online now.
Yeah.
Kimmer, that's I've gone over there to do some gigs in. Not lately, of course, because of what we're all going through, but Kimmer has some interesting history, to say the least.
I don't know if it's yours. I remember one of these mic cords being jumpy. I don't know if the audio can pick that up or not. But somebody let us know.
I had to see if Michael was messing around with it. I'm sure he was.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. Definitely has to be his fault.
Michael Searle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he records his show here as well.
Yeah, I listened to a little of his before I came down here.
I mean, that was always the ultimate goal, was to get a few people in here. I mean, that's why the reason I built the place and took it out of my basement.
Sure.
Because I was like, hey, I want to give people an opportunity to start their own show and be creative and
that's very gracious of you. By the way.
get their voice out there, man. And so I was like, I want to build a cool spot but nobody here knows what a podcast is, so it's hard to get people involved. We're working on it.
Do you guys all listen to different podcasts or podcasts on a regular basis?
Yeah.
Periodically. I mean, not as regular as, he's like an encyclopedia.
Yeah. I know a lot of podcasts. Well, I'm a truck driver, so 12-hour shifts. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah. I mean,
now, do you listen in your truck?
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah.
How does that go about? Is it something you download and then take with you, or how? I mean,
yeah, I've got an app. It's called Podcast Addict.
Okay.
And I'll download.
So just through your phone, and then you just pipe that through your truck.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's Bluetooth. Everything's Bluetooth now. It's a 2020 Pete, so
okay, cool.
Technology is caught up with the trucking industry.
Cool.
But yeah, I've got like 50 something different shows I listen to on a weekly basis. So
wow.
Yeah, I can get through like 6 a night, easy 6, 7.
Heard of the Tiger King? You're the podcast king.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I like them, man.
Yeah.
I got hooked a few years ago. That's all I did was listen to them for a long time. And then I was like, hey, I want to try this. I had a microphone.
What provided the impetus to go forward with this. Okay.
I would listen to podcasts about podcasting just so I could learn how to do it
Sure.
myself.
Yeah. Makes sense.
And they're out there, man. It's weird. They're weird. I've had a podcast about podcasting, but people talk about equipment. People talk about where to publish. I mean,
Mhm.
that's how I got most of my information: YouTube and podcasts
Mhm.
on how to even start this thing.
You should start a podcast on how to podcast about podcasting.
Yeah,
And then just
that's
bring
what's
it full
happening right
circle.
now. I might write that down. A podcast about how to podcast on podcasting.
A podcast, yeah, on how to podcast about podcasts.
It's deep, man.
Yeah. Well, you guys
Yeah.
can talk while I'm doing this.
Oh yeah. So how's your week been?
It's
What do all
Short.
of you, as far as the TV you bring into your house, what are you using? For me, I got back on a trial of Netflix. Hadn't had that for a long time. I've always had Hulu and YouTube TV. That's what I'm doing. I've had Amazon Prime before, but I didn't. I think I have it now, but I don't. I don't ever think about it.
watching the hell out of some YouTube, but I don't have YouTube TV.
Mm-hmm. It's just live TV. It's just kind of like you can get Hulu Live, or Hulu has, of course, watch the next day or go back through an entire series.
Right.
YouTube is it's got all your local channels. It's got about 60 channels, and it's just stream. So it's just an app on your phone or a laptop. You pull something up and then stream it to your TV.
Yeah.
Is this the part where I shit talk YouTube?
Yeah, maybe if you want to.
I mean, they've had so many commercials and they were censoring everything, so they might as well just become regular ass TV.
Yeah. Yeah. I watch Amazon Prime. I actually enjoy a few of their shows. They've had some decent shows.
Been watching Ozark. Oh,
yep,
man.
a lot of people have been talking about Ozark. Yeah. I watched recently, I was watching Deadwood and
my brother really liked that, Deadwood.
I'm watching Ballers right now with The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Okay.
It's decent. It's all right. And Dave. I'm still a fan of Dave.
I've seen a few episodes of Dave. Yeah.
I think it's funny.
Yeah, it is funny.
But yeah, we've got Hulu, Netflix, Amazon Prime, and Disney Plus. But Disney Plus came with Verizon for a year.
Oh, okay.
For a year, so the daughter likes that one because Elsa's on there.
Because what's on there?
Elsa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Frozen.
Frozen.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I watched it for Mandalorian, which was great.
Mm-hmm.
Mandalorian was a really great show.
Yeah, it's like I was dead set against Disney Plus. And then it's like, oh, they've got every episode of The Simpsons, including, the good ones.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they've got the old X-Men animated series from the 90s. I'm like, oh, crap. They just keep sweetening the pot. And
They got some old school stuff, man. They got all the Mighty Ducks.
yeah.
What else was I watching? Oh, Brink, I think. Also it's a, what is it called? Rollerblading type show.
I'm not sure.
It was from the 90s, and I remember loving it when I was a kid, and I rewatched it, and I was like, doesn't hold up.
Yeah, there are shows like that you really had an affinity for at one point in time, and you go back and go, well, I guess I've changed a little bit.
I know Johnny Tsunami's on there, and I have not watched it yet because I really enjoyed it as a kid, and I don't want to ruin it now.
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep it on there. I'll just look at it like, yeah, that was good. But never watch it.
I know we were watching we were watching a lot of anime recently, and then I think because of the COVID thing, they're not doing simuldub anymore. And I don't want to start a subs versus dubs debate, but I prefer dub if I'm watching a comedy because the jokes are better if you hear them in a language you understand instead of reading them at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah. Of course.
Kind of like how Twitter works.
Good God, dude! Did you see that shit that was going on Twitter? With somebody made a comment or somebody posted a picture of Tucker Carlson talking about COVID. And he's like, this many people die of heart disease and this many people die of suicide and just comparing it to COVID. And I'm like, yeah, but I said something like, hey, you still wear a condom. AIDS doesn't kill as many people as anything you listed, but you still wear a damn condom.
Well, I mean, it could also be for pregnancy.
Oh, that too.
Those numbers are up pretty high.
I bet, man. they're expecting some kind of new baby boom out of this thing.
Yeah, that's what they're assuming is going to happen. Everybody's stuck at home.
Yeah.
What else are you going to do? I guess. I mean, not me personally, but I wish.
I don't know. Play PlayStation, I guess. That's
that's all I've been doing is playing Call of Duty. What's going on, Mike?
got a secondary abstinent campaign.
Randy was blaming you earlier for messing with one of the mic cords.
I'm convinced it has to be your fault. Absolutely.
Now I forgot what I was going to get into. So thanks.
But yeah, no, I've been watching. I finally got around to watching The Witcher a couple of weeks ago.
Nice. How was it?
About a year after everybody else was talking about how good it was.
I enjoyed it.
So in 2021, I'll probably be finished with Tiger King about this time next year.
Yeah.
I went through that in about a night.
Yeah, everybody. I mean, that
about
took off.
7 episodes, I think. Yeah.
I think Mike had an episode on
He
it.
did.
this
Yeah,
week,
I was listening to some of that before it came down. I'll have to listen to the rest of it.
I think I only watched 4 episodes, but I got the gist.
Yeah.
I was leaving for work. My wife was binging it, and she was like 4 episodes in. I was like, I got to go. I can't keep watching it.
Now he's got Kanye and Kim West are trying to work for his freedom. That was something I heard on Mike's.
This
is the guy that got 2 straight dudes addicted to meth so that he could turn them into his personal playthings?
Yes.
Yeah, I think he's right where he needs to be.
There was a reporter during one of these, I think, COVID-19 press conferences with the president, and he asked Donald Trump, can you look into the Tiger King or something like that, releasing Joe Exotic from prison? He's like, I'll look into it.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody's all freaking out this week about President Trump might look into Joe Exotic's thing. I doubt he will.
I don't know. I'm just about ready to bet that Donald Trump had no idea what the hell he was talking about, man. He's like, you think I got time for Netflix?
Yeah, right. I mean,
if you're president and you got time for Netflix, you probably ain't doing your job, man. That's
pretty soon there's going to be a reality TV show around the president, I'm guessing.
Man, if they could get away with it, I'm sure they could. Or I'm sure they've tried and they couldn't get away with it because of state secrets or something.
Well, you can't be in like some of the conference rooms, I'm sure, but just walking around, probably be fine.
Hey, Michael, doing well, man. Just saw that.
But yeah, just walking around would probably give all kinds of information out that they don't want. I mean, you can get information. What was the thing recently where they had life insurance companies would look at your profile pictures to tell if you're a smoker or something like that? It was a couple of years ago. The story broke. It didn't really make major headlines, but I just remember reading about it. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
To bring the conversation to a screeching halt.
No, I was going to say
no punchline.
I was going to say, I think everybody's freaking out nowadays about this app wants this and this app wants this. I'm like, you guys realize that Google has had a dossier on almost every American citizen for since 2007. None of this is new.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh, Facebook's using our information so they could sell us stuff. Well, no shit. He's trying to make money. He's a multi-billionaire. What do you want from him? He's selling your information. He's listening in, and they all are. Everybody is. Everybody's like, don't get in Alexa. It listens in. It's like, no shit. So does your phone. I mean, it's the same thing. Who knows? You guys aren't going to weigh in on that? All right, moving on.
I was more distracted by Michael saying Rando do some voices. I'm like, what the hell voices? And then he posts Jack Nicklaus.
Jack Nicklaus?
Who the hell?
Jack Nicklaus, that's the Golden Bear. That's the golfer.
Yeah,
Jack Nicholson.
I know who he is. I'm just saying, who the hell has a Jack Nicklaus impression? That's like the opposite of Christopher Walken. Everybody has a Christopher Walken impression, but who the hell knows how to do a Jack Nicklaus impression? That's
Mark might.
No,
maybe.
No, that one's not in my wheelhouse.
He does you do a lot of cartoon characters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I do too.
Yeah. Randy has a decent meatball. Wait, meatwad.
Meatwad.
Yeah.
Aquatine Hunger Force, but they kept changing the name. Just got me confused.
Nice.
Yeah, Mate Man over there. Yeah, he's got a point. It was they changed it was Aquatine Hunger Force, and then they changed it to Aqua something, whatever. Then it was Aqua TV show, and that one confused me. I was sounding like an echo, and I hadn't heard a good echo since, when I saw Boston Live, and this chick was all passed out and puked, and they were playing Urgent. And I just can't hear that song Urgent without, thinking about that chick's passed out boobs covered in vomit.
Passed out boobs.
I was gaming online with some people playing Conan.
Uh-huh.
And I was just doing a Boomhauer impression the entire time, just cracking them up.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's got to be fun to just do voices over.
Well, what do you think there, Boomhauer?
Oh man, they're talking, man, talking about opinion, man. They say opinion like a butthole, man. But the dang opinion get dirty, man. They ain't gonna wipe your butthole. Then they keep the opinion to yourself, man. I ain't talking about seeing your butthole. Then won't see no opinion.
I thought the conversation was gonna keep going. I was hoping for it.
And they talk about that dang on script, man. That dang on studio didn't get the headphones on, man. Talking about that dang on time Brad Pitt came in. He was my cousin, man. Talking about that was fun.
Brad Pitt's your cousin?
You didn't see the one where Brad Pitt played Boomhauer's cousin?
I did not. I don't watch a lot of King of the Hill, man. I used to back in the day.
I was telling someone earlier that she said when I was a kid, she was like, most little girls want to be Disney princesses, and I wanted to be Wednesday Addams, and I'm like, dude, I was somewhere between Pugsley and Bobby Hill. That's
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have any voices, so if you guys keep getting into voices, I'm just gonna have to stare at you and smile. I got nothing. I can do a decent God dang it, Bobby. That's about it.
Hey, Hank.
And I got
Sandra.
an ass like Hank.
I have a narrow urethra.
Your urethra is so narrow. I can't do Chris Rock. Yeah, when I was younger, I could do Chris Rock, but I just don't have the chops for it these days. I do not remember if my John Redcorn was on task.
Yeah, I mean that's mostly just talking
Nancy.
slow and precise, right?
Nancy, lie down. We will give you a massage with my penis.
Yeah, he was whose wife was he banging?
It was Dale's.
Dale
Okay,
Gribble.
yeah.
That was the humor of it, is he was paranoid about everything was a conspiracy, and the one thing he couldn't see was his wife having an affair.
Yeah. I mean, I'm getting that a lot now. Everything's a conspiracy. It seems crazy to me. Some of the stuff people come up with.
Oh yeah.
It's like I always say I'm agnostic on the subjects. Like I mean, I don't know. I guess we could go there, but I just don't see it. I guess we get there when we get there. I don't know if it's gonna happen or not. Maybe this whole thing blows over and everybody's back to normal. Maybe some other shit happens. Who the fuck knows?
Well, right now my Facebook is just split down the middle between people thinking that this plague is just going to wipe everything out, and people who think that this is just a ploy for the government to call martial law.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I guess we'll see what you want me to do.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like maybe it will, maybe it won't. Who knows?
Cover my face and vote. That's all I can do.
Yeah. Technically, we're supposed to be 6 feet apart from each other, aren't we? It's close enough.
Yeah, I think there's supposed to be like no gatherings of more than 5 people, or
Yeah.
10 people or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking it was too. Like I get you're supposed to be 6 feet apart, but I think that's in public.
Yeah.
I think if you know the people and you know nobody's sick at the moment that you're hanging out, it's like under 10 or something.
Right.
I think we're fine.
Yeah, the idea is like grocery stores or.
And people have been adhering to that.
Although
that's, the few times I've gone, you just kind of do what you're supposed to do. Everybody's kind of aware of it, but you see them keeping their distance. So
Yeah.
that's a good thing.
At least here, I know we got one guy that comments on every show we do. He tells you to smell me and tell you what he smells like. I would not recommend that today.
Yeah.
Been doing a lot of walking around, haven't had a shower.
I think I said he smelled like the Amazon rainforest or something like that.
I probably do right now. Probably one of the more pungent parts. Yeah, no, people have been really good about social distancing and quarantine, shelter in place, and all that here in Evanston. Just so many damn Utah plates. I woke up this morning, I thought we got annexed. I was wondering what the hell was going on. It's like we don't need a stay-at-home order. We need a go-home order.
Yeah. Have you seen the thing where you have to fill out like a form to go into Utah now?
Yeah.
Why isn't it both ways though? Is what I'm asking. So Utah can come here.
Because Wyoming is still America.
I guess so.
Somehow through that emergency response, they'll send you a text, and then when you stop driving, you're supposed to go to a website and then report why you're there. Have you been sick? Have you been around anybody that's been sick? Have you been in an area that is prone to the pandemic?
I had a I had a lady on the podcast, on my old one, my other podcast.
Mm-hmm.
She was an entrepreneur, and her business was, they were like these little discs, right? And you could program them for your business. And wherever you're at, within like 30 miles or something like that. So you place it in your business area, wherever you're at, and it will shoot a thing to your phone. You know, like the Google things, like, oh, how take pictures of McDonald's or whatever. It'll come up like, hey, have you seen this business? It kind of reminds me of that. Like as soon as you go into Utah, it's like, bing. That's weird how that stuff works.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever taken a picture of McDonald's either. Been asked 800 times. You ever take pictures of shit? Ask you to take pictures of?
No, not for a while.
I feel like
There's always tomorrow. Ben.
Yeah, well, I just feel like every restaurant you go into, you leave it and your phone has that Google thing. How was your dinner at Wendy's? Did you take any photos? Can you rate this?
I actually haven't gotten that.
Oh, maybe it's just me.
No, I've had those before too. Yeah.
Yeah, my phone was doing this weird thing all last week where it had this light up in the corner right here, and it was just like this blinking green light, and I couldn't figure it out. And then my phone update, and then it went away. But like for like months, it was just there until the phone update. And I was like, are they just like constantly on your shit?
I don't know.
That's what it seemed like. I think they're just watching me. Everything I do. That little green blinky light. I mean, follow me wherever you want to go. You might not like some of the websites, but sure.
That's just, I don't know, because I remember that same update, and I didn't have any blinking lights or anything like that. But
I just updated it like 3 days ago, and the light went away.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a blinking green light for a long time. It's weird. And I thought my phone was broken.
And I hate bringing up something if I can't tell you exactly what the source was or where you can find it or whatever. But I was watching
Isn't that the whole premise of the show?
I guess so. I mean, I feel like I should be sitting here like Ben Shapiro, like, and if you look exactly on page 193 in the book On with the Wind, you will see on line 5.
I had everybody convinced the other day that there was a central power location where all the power went to, and it just spun in a circle and just dispersed. That's not real. The central power apparently was some kind of Nazi thing. I looked it up. I was like, oh shit, I should have said central power.
But no, I saw something where they were talking about the amount of power it would take for apps to actually listen in on your calls or listen in on your whatever. And it would cost them more than it would make them. It was just better to use the Google information that Google collects.
Yeah.
So,
but it is weird that you say something and it comes up as an ad on Facebook.
Oh yeah.
I think Facebook spends the money to listen.
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, it could be.
But
that goes back to what you want me to do about it.
Yeah. I was like, just because they can listen doesn't mean they are at the same time. Nor do they care what you're saying for the most part. That's what I was saying too. Everybody's like, oh, they're listening to our phones. I was like, how aren't they catching people then? You'd think they'd be using it to catch some people. I don't understand.
I'm just waiting for some former FBI agent to, start a stand-up career and just have all of my damn jokes because he's heard everything I've ever come up with. Well, I'm on the phone running it by friends and family.
I mean, think of that Amber Alert. Did everybody get that Amber Alert today?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. You'd think they just know exactly where she was. If they were listening and watching and tracking phones. It'd be like
Good
that.
Good point, man. Yeah.
And I was saying, remember that presidential alert that they did a couple of years ago? When like every phone in America went off?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I remember somebody was talking about that. That's how they were just doing that to find the cell phones in the prisons. That's what
yeah, maybe.
Just had them all go off. Because we were checking out in Walmart. We had to run to Walmart today. And that's part of the reason I was talking about the Utah plates. But yeah, we were checking out earlier, and as we were checking out, the Amber Alert or the second Amber Alert came through where it was like an update. And every phone in Walmart went off.
Oh, nice.
And it was just insane. It's got to be a GPS thing. I don't know.
Yeah, mine went off twice today. Did anybody see that truck? I didn't see it.
I don't know if anybody's...
I didn't really go anywhere today. But, I mean, it is useful for truck drivers. I mean, most of the time we're out there looking around. So I'm not working. They're doing this premium day off is what they're calling it. So we're only working 4 days a week. So I had yesterday off.
You do drive the same route?
It depends. I mean, I go from here, Utah, Idaho, and it just depends on the day. I get dispatched something else every day, but it's mostly within 250 miles, and it's usually just Wyoming, Utah, and
Okay.
Idaho.
And
Yeah.
you're delivering fuel to Mavericks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Fuel driver, tanker yanker.
Tanker Yanker.
Mm-hmm.
That's a new one on me.
Yeah. I saw that like 2 years ago, and I was like, "Oh, is that what they call us, tanker yankers?" I actually kind of I embraced it, so I started using it myself. Calling myself a tanker yanker.
You know what they call pilot cars in the South?
What's that?
Escorts.
Hmm.
So I actually used to work with a guy who had, as a side hustle, he had an escort business. And it's just sitting there with a straight face because I'm like, you know that has another meaning, right?
Yeah,
It's
dude.
like when someone calls the beanbag toss the cornhole game. I'm like,
Imagine somebody going there to get an oversized load, and they can't find it anywhere.
"Had to get an
Or
escort."
somebody there looking for an escort, and then the pilot car shows up. It's like, what the fuck are you doing here?
Yeah.
This isn't what I asked for.
Yeah, nah, man. I had to get the escort to help me with my oversized load because I'm trying to get out of here. I'm trying to go home. I was going to go cornholing at my cousin's house.
Nice. Okay, let's just end it there.
But speaking of cornholing, you want to make sure you're fresh and clean no matter what kind of activity you participate in. And that brings us to our sponsor, Ballsy. Use promo code STMPod at ballwash.com to save 15%. And wow,
Amber alert.
yeah.
Everybody's phone. There you go. Go to ballwash.com. Use promo code STMPod at checkout. Save yourself some money. Also, go to spunklube.com. Use promo code STMPod at checkout. Get some spunk on your junk.
Nice.
Yep. Spunk Lube's been around forever, man.
Yeah.
I think they're probably our longest running sponsor.
Yeah.
Cool.
Them and the CBD company would.
That probably died like
I don't-
3 months after they gave us that.
I don't even know what the situation with that.
CleanCBD.net.
Witch's Brew has always been an unofficial sponsor.
That's true.
That's
Shout out to Holly down at Witch's Brew Vape Shop, downtown Evanston. She said that she was getting ready to start selling juice online, maybe. So we might be able to push that a little bit more for people that don't live here. You got a problem with that?
no, not at all. You just mentioned juice, and I just remembered I brought 2 Gatorades,
But they're behind
and
the
I
wall.
left them in the car.
Oh, it's like they're behind the wall. Yeah, I don't know. Mike was talking about changing everything up again, maybe.
Yeah.
So I don't know what we're gonna do with these walls and stuff.
I don't know. I mean,
I just gave you more room, so
It's
you
hard
didn't
to-
knock the wall over anymore.
I appreciate that. I know last week we had a close call. It was,
Oh, what's up, Rick? My cousin Rick's watching right now. I don't think he's ever tuned into this show before, so that's fancy.
he's just here for Mark.
Yeah.
He'd give a damn about you.
Either Mark or your cornholing jokes.
Oh,
Him
yeah.
too.
Man, talking about that dang on cornhole, man. Talking about that dang fit in the hole, man. Talking about the sack too big, man. Talking about you get in there, man. You got you force, man. That dang on lubricate it.
I think
talking about that dang on spunklube.com, man. Talking about that dang on spunk on your junk, man. Talking about that dang on ball wash and get the dang funk off your junk, man. Talking about that ain't no problem.
you know who needs their balls washed? Meatwad, because he's a giant ball.
Well, I tried to wash my balls in the laundromat, but shoot, I made a worse mess than when I went in there. They said it was unsanitary. They said I can go home and I wasn't allowed back, and they said they didn't care, and my balls could stink all they want.
You gotta think Meatwad probably is like bad. He's gone bad. Like how
Yeah.
how long can like a ball
Wait.
of meat last?
Well, you can't do like you can't put too much thought into Aqua Teen Hunger
Okay,
Force
my bad.
because well, it's just
The fries make sense.
he's a sentient uncooked ball of meat.
Because if they're McDonald's
If
fries,
they-
they'd probably last forever.
Yeah. And for some reason, they made shake a lime flavored shake. That's just
That is odd.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would be pretty crusty by now.
exactly.
Can you do a shake?
I can't get my
Ah.
voice that high. I can't do shake, and Frylock's his own creature. I don't think I can do a Frylock either.
I think we're making Mark do like Homer and
Homer Simpson.
yeah, Barney and stuff. I don't remember who all we made you do last time you were on here. Gotta spitball it.
Yeah, just trying to remember because I know I had Aquatine, I had Metacalypse, and a lot of the Adult Swim lineup.
You got Alex Jones,
Alex Jones, that's right.
Christopher Walken. I made you do.
Yeah. Yeah, but everybody has a Christopher Walken, though.
You got a Christopher
No, I
Walken.
really actually don't.
It's
But
not
I
bad.
have heard a lot of people
Yeah.
impersonate him. Sure.
He can do an Obama as also.
Well, I'm just saying, when you're doing your daily routine, you got to use ballwash.com.
That's
You got
very
to go
good,
to
man.
Ball Wash and get those balls clean.
Nice. Very good.
Endorsement from former president.
Hey, you
Barack
know what?
Obama.
I kind of wish I'd had some of that stuff. You know, maybe somebody wouldn't have snitched on me if my balls smelled all fresh and clean. Now I got to watch my back. Only reason I'm alive right now is because I got Secret Service protection. I mean, I'm just saying Epstein didn't kill himself.
Let's say if you were to have some kind of lube to help you slide out of the situation you were in, what kind of lube would that be?
There's all kinds of slippery people out there, folks. You gotta be tough, but you gotta beat them at their own game. You gotta be just as slippery as the slipperiest of the lizard people. And for that, you gotta use spunklube.com. You gotta use spunklube. You gotta go to spunklube.com and use promo code STM. This is how you beat the system. This is how you beat the system, people. You gotta beat the system by going to spunklube.com and using promo code STMPod. And that way you save 15%. Everyone else is paying. Everybody else is paying, and they're paying full price. But you get that 15% off. And that's how you're going to beat the system. Then you can use that lube, and you can get just as slimy as the slimiest one of these globalists. And that's how we're going to win. That is how we're going to take over. We're going to win. You will not defeat us. We're on to your slime. We're on to your plan.
You got a little into that, didn't you?
You can't just half-ass an Alex Jones impression, man.
Alright.
That man puts everything into it, man. You gotta try and match his energy.
Well, they are turning the frogs gay.
Love him or hate him, man. He brings it. That's what makes him so entertaining to watch.
Yeah, a lot of people are actually turning back.
They're putting chemicals in the water to turn the frogs gay, and then the frogs are putting water into chemicals to try and turn us straight. I don't understand what's going on, but I don't like it.
Yeah, they were.
And they put frogs in the water, and that's just sick.
Wait, frogs are supposed to go in the water. Lily pads. Is that why they call them lily pads? Because the frogs are gay. Got him. People are enjoying your Alex Jones right now. Yeah, I was gonna say a lot of people are tuning into him right now because they're believing the shit he's saying about the COVID. The COVID.
No, I haven't even heard what he had. I know he was trying to say he had a cure for it or something.
Yeah, he got fined for selling his products online, claiming it would cure it. I don't even know what he was selling that would cure it.
I don't know.
We don't have a cure for
Maybe
COVID, but we do have a cure for stinky balls. Go to ballwash.com. I'm just gonna work that in all the time now.
you just gotta move in there seamlessly.
Yeah.
I had I talk about it on the show before, or yeah, I think I did before. I don't think Mark was here, but I talked about it on the show. I had an idea for like a buddy cop movie with Ben Shapiro and Alex Jones. And Alex Jones just kept going off, and Ben Shapiro would always have to rein him in. It's like, okay, this is where we believe they're moving the drugs to. It's more than that. These people are demons. They smell like sulfur. Okay, Alex, calm down. Okay, calm down. We can't go in there just yet. Okay, we go in there without a warrant. What's going to happen? They're going to get off scot-free. I don't want that. You don't want that. All right. But first, we'll talk more about the Second Amendment or the Fourth Amendment in a minute. But first, let's talk about your balls. Your balls need to be clean, and you need to use ballwash.com, okay? Ballwash.com. It's a great website. I know about websites. I know about a lot of things because my wife is a doctor. And
Do you have any political figures?
No.
No, just good. Who's your favorite?
Political figure?
No,
What?
character that you do.
Oh God, I don't know.
We got to get some from you too, man.
Uh,
Got to join in the fun.
a little too spent to do that.
Oh, all right.
But,
well,
yeah.
Been tired?
it's like,
Yeah,
What you been doing?
staying up too late, watching
Yeah.
TV, and
Yeah.
doing some deep spring cleaning, which
Oh, yeah.
needed to be done.
Yeah, we did some of that today. We went to the dump today.
Did you?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. The guy at the dump, he had gloves on and a mask, and he comes out. And my son wanted to pay him, so I gave him the $5, and,
Mhm.
and he put it out the window. And the guy said, "Do you want a Tootsie Roll?" And he went inside and got both my kids Tootsie Rolls, but he was wearing the gloves. He handed the Tootsie Rolls.
Like rubber gloves? Or,
Yeah.
I mean,
People don't understand cross contamination though.
That's-
It's like if you've been touching everything all day with those gloves,
Right.
and then you gave candy to my kids with the same damn gloves.
I mean,
I've seen that stuff all over Facebook lately. Like people just putting the gloves in their mouth or touching their
I
keys and
saw
stuff.
that.
All right, man.
I saw that picture. That was great. He's just sitting there in the middle of the grocery store, holding the glove in his mouth, texting on his phone with his ungloved hand.
Well, I've seen people like eating with the gloves on.
Oh,
Yeah, like picking the grapes out. It's like, all right, fine. And it's weird because these are the people that are buying all the gloves. They bought
Mhm.
out everything. They bought out
Right.
all the gloves, all the
right.
Purell, and it's like, what's the point of you guys having it if you're still gonna get the virus?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
And only thing more contagious is stupidity.
Yeah.
Because I hear about the stupid shit they do with their gloves, and now I'm touching my face. I got a face palm. And that's the one thing we're not supposed to do.
Well, I haven't been wearing gloves. Well, really, I mean, I wear gloves at work,
Right.
but I haven't wore any rubber gloves or anything. I've just been washing my hands using, Purell and stuff. And I take my work gloves off as soon as I get in the truck. Everything I touch outside the truck, gloves on. I open
Absolutely.
the door, take the gloves off, and before I touch anything in the truck, I Purell.
sure. Okay.
Absolutely. That's-
Cross contamination, man.
yeah.
You can't be touching stuff with the same gloves you touched everything else with.
Right.
I don't understand. Whatever. It's life. It's where we live in, man.
Yeah.
It's the Tide Pod generation.
I don't know. Were kids eating Tide Pod because they knew this was coming?
Maybe
They never-
they're preemptively trying to clean their systems out.
Trying to disinfect everything.
If it was a cure, that'd be awesome.
I don't know.
All the boomers like, oh shit, we should have been taking the Tide Pods.
I think for legal reasons we should say that eating Tide Pods will fucking kill you, and under no circumstances should you do it.
But if you want to get it down faster, try Spunk Lube. SpunkLube.com. No? Should we not put our sponsors in situations like that? All right, good to know.
I'm just trying to pull out another impression.
Okay.
Murder face from Metalocalypse.
Yeah, I like spunklube.com, but it's really not pleasant to hear this voice all the time, and nobody wants to hear it. And it sounds kind of like Louis Anderson if he was drunk and pissed off.
I was trying to think of who else you had, because we've had Bane. You got a Bane. You got a decent Bane. How would Bane watch his balls?
Dude, I've been looking for like a Bane cover, not a Bane mask, but a Bane cover to go over my mask
Mm-hmm.
to see if I could print something out or whatever. And then I'm just walking around town and be like, oh, yes, everyone thought I looked foolish when I was walking around wearing the mask, but it's and now you look just like Bane.
It must suck to work in a bank right now. Everyone's
Oh,
got their
yeah.
face covered.
That's the jacked up thing because I'll do a delivery, and I'm good because I got the large scarf here.
Large scarf.
Yeah, oh, it's a makeshift shamrock, like the
Did you just call me a schmuck?
yeah, you're a schmuck. But and I'll wrap that around my face. But if it's 50-50, either somebody will come to the door and they've got the mask on too, so they totally get it, or they come to the door and they look at me like I just sprouted a second head. So, it's whatever. I'll look stupid today. I ain't trying to look cool in a hospital bed,
Yeah, it's true, I guess. You haven't been much on the masks.
I know a lot of people think it's a hoax, and hey, if it's a hoax, they got me. What do you want me to say?
I don't think it's a hoax, but it does have a 97% recovery rate.
Yeah, and it's hard on people with high blood pressure and breathing problems.
Diabetes.
And I'm a smoker with high blood pressure, who only by the grace of God does not have diabetes yet.
You still got both your legs.
Yeah.
It's good.
I thought I lost a foot, but it turned out that I was just really drunk. So absinthe is a motherfucker, by the way.
I have a friend that has a bottle of absinthe, and every time we have a get together, he talks about bringing it over, but he never has. I get down on some of that green juice.
What is it? I'm not.
Absinthe is like a
It's like a liquor. Oh, okay. I thought it was like a licorice liqueur or something.
It's kind of like that.
It tastes like black licorice. It's
Okay.
pretty nasty.
But it's a hallucinogenic
It's like-
Okay.
alcohol, essentially. Yeah.
Where do they sell that?
In other countries.
I kind of figured. Yeah.
They sell it here?
Yeah, they got it at liquor store. You can get it at discount liquor.
That's probably not
Really?
as potent as it is in other countries.
I think it's the same stuff.
Did
man.
you hallucinate?
No,
No little green
that whole hallucination thing was
just for the movie?
Yeah, I think that was either exaggerated or completely made up, man. But it was popular. I think somebody went nuts and killed a bunch of people after killed his family after drinking absinthe, and they banned it and said it made you trip and shit. And the only thing I can compare it to is if you've ever taken a muscle relaxer, it's kind of like that. It's a little less it doesn't hit you the same way whiskey or beer does. It's just kind of chill.
Yeah, my only form of reference is Euro Trip, where the guy was talking to the little green fairy thing.
You don't drink it straight. You got to mix it with water or sugar.
Oh,
There you go.
Someday I'll remember to turn this thing on. So no, you don't drink absinthe straight. Back in the turn of the century, 1910, 1912, it was with wormwood, which is a poison and can cause you to hallucinate. As it got closer to the Prohibition era, they increased the wormwood because they figured people wouldn't drink if they thought it would kill them. But people were still going to drink,
Sure.
whether it was going to kill them or not. And that's when America was like, well, y'all are too stupid to realize that this is going to kill you, so we're just not going to ship it in from France anymore. And there's your absinthe lesson. Enjoy your life, I guess.
Okay, cool.
because I know the bottle we have has wormwood in it, but yeah, I don't think I've ever hallucinated or anything. I think at worst I probably took a nap and maybe had a vivid dream or something, but that's about it, man.
You ever hallucinated, Mark, on anything? Or you don't want to say it publicly? That's all right.
Interesting question. Nothing comes to mind right now.
I've said this a few times. The only
Hallucinogenic?
That's the one.
Can you say that?
No.
You can. I like the way you say that. Did you know that?
Yeah, the only one I've ever had was man, I can't think of the name now. It was a what's it called? Fuck.
I've never
I'm
heard of
done.
that one.
Yep, I'm done. I can't think of it.
Psilocybin?
No,
Mushrooms.
you smoke
LSD,
it. It was incense.
peyote,
Incense.
Peyote?
Salvia divinorium.
Salvia.
Okay, yeah.
That's the only one I ever tried. And my only story was after I tried it, I just sat down on the couch and then I started to sink into the couch and then I became the couch. But it only lasts 5 minutes maybe. And then my friend did it right after me and they were filming him. He had his phone out, his brother, and they had the light on the front. And he thought a train was coming. And he freaked out because he thought the light on the phone was a train.
Actually, yeah, I do remember one time when I hallucinated, but I was a kid and I had chickenpox twice.
Oh.
But the first time I had it, I was seeing huge spiders in my room. I was able to look at mirrors and these cartoons would start to show up. I mean, it was crazy. I think my parents thought I was nuts.
Yeah, well.
But then they realized, okay, it's a symptom of the chicken pox.
I wonder if that's how cartoons were invented.
I,
People that lived in the chicken pox.
I don't know. Yeah, I could say I've hallucinated with like sleep paralysis.
Oh yeah, that's happened to me a few
But-
times.
Yeah, I think like most people have had some kind of experience like that. Him mentioning Mark mentioning chickenpox just reminded me of that. But
Thanks for the salvia that my wife hit me up.
I did. I think before we go any further, we should say that the things said on Small Town Mentality may or may not be true. We may just be making shit up because we think it's funny. You
True that.
can't prove this, and it should not be assumed that any indiscretions that we may admit to it from the past actually happened. Yeah, maybe we're just going for a joke.
Do your own research, kids. Don't
Th-
try this at home.
That being said, you
that-
got that trunk full of Coke or no? All right.
But that said, man, I did try salvia, man, and the colors on the TV got more vivid, and that's about it.
Yeah, I became a couch. Well, I mean, I still am, I guess. The only stories I have from getting like high from pot back in the day was we turned cartoons on SpongeBob, and then we'd turn the volume off and just listen to rap music and just watch SpongeBob rap, and it was
Yeah.
great.
See, for me, it was anime and Tool. So
Yeah, SpongeBob always talked fast enough where it looked like he was rapping.
I can see that.
I've done that a few times in like bars and stuff too, where they got the TVs on, but they're real low, and you're like the reporters, because they're watching football, and the rap song's on. Sometimes I'll zone out on that still to this day. Like, oh, she looks like she's rapping.
How popular is CB radio still?
CB radio?
Yeah.
Depends on the company, I guess. I have one.
Do you?
I use it. Well, sometimes I forget to turn it on. Most of the time, I've got it on, especially with snowing and stuff, just to pay attention to see what's going on. But a lot of the big companies now don't use them, which is why most of those big companies are in the pileups. So it was a safety feature, and people got stingy, didn't want to buy them anymore.
In a create your own entertainment kind of mode, as kids, doing prank calls, that you can't do that anymore because of caller ID. But I had a friend who had a base station, and we had some fun with the truckers.
Nice.
They might not have thought it was fun, but we'd rile them up a little bit.
One time as a kid, we had these walkie-talkies, and they were probably 3-4 mile range.
Mhm.
And we found somebody on there. We were flipping through the channels, talking to everybody, messing around. And these people started messing with us. So we started messing with them back, right?
Mhm.
Preteens or whatever. And they decided they wanted to fight us. And they asked us where we were. And we gave them like a neighbor's address. And we were messing with them. We watched them through the window, and they actually pulled up, went to the neighbor's house, and then just took off. I mean, that could have been very bad.
That could have turned out real bad.
That could have turned out horrible for us. But hey, we're all right. We're okay. We made it.
Only about a million ways that could have gone wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't get kidnapped and raped. We're good. Everybody stops and reads the same comment at the same time.
Yeah, I don't know what was the killer idea for sound dampening, but okay.
Oh, maybe he's paying attention to the studio.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They're office partitions, I guess, panels for what are they
Like
called?
cubicles?
Yeah. Yeah, my mother-in-law bought those because she created like a room. So they turned their garage into a bedroom and then put the garage on the front. And in that bedroom, they had their kid staying in there, and he wanted some privacy, so they bought these and built like a little room. And then he ended up going to jail again, so she gave them to me. So it's cool. Joyride. What's Joyride? Oh, the movie. Oh, she was relating to the movie. Oh, what's up? Hello, everybody. Thanks for listening. We're getting distracted by the comments now.
Yeah.
What are you doing now?
I was trying to bring back up because I had a watch party going on Facebook, and I guess I had ended or something.
Oh, nice. All right. Well, where are we at? Okay, we're good. Mark, do you have any stories you want to bring up from old Evanston for the people, for the masses?
Gosh, man.
I kind of came unprepared tonight.
Oh, you're all right.
I was just going to kind of check things out, sit in, see how your equipment worked.
I mean, it's not been too bad. We enjoy having you.
Well, like to be here. Well, my pleasure.
Oh no, I was gonna tell a story after the legal disclaimer, but
What's the story?
because you were
Do
talking
you
about,
want another legal
turning-
disclaimer?
well, you talked about turning into a couch, and I was gonna say, I don't know if I've told that story on here before, but the first time I ever smoked pot,
You turned into a couch.
well, I didn't turn into a couch, but I was, it was at a friend. It was at a friend of mine's house, and they were smoking pot out back, and they knew I didn't smoke, so I just went out there with them, and I'm waiting for somebody to pass it to me, and nobody did. And I finally said something like, "Well, hey, why aren't you guys passing to me?" And he's like, "Dude, because you don't smoke. This ain't no fucking after school special, dude. You want to just let us know, but ain't nobody gonna try and make you do nothing." So I'm like, okay. I took a couple of hits, got curious, took a couple of hits, went inside and sat down on the couch. Now the dude's brother, because I'm not saying anybody's names, but the dude's brother was as straight edge gets. I mean, this motherfucker didn't nothing, I'd be surprised if he ever took a fucking aspirin. This guy was so straight edge. Anyway, I sit on the couch and I start to get that anxiety, start to get that fear. I start breathing a little bit deeper. And I notice the couch is breathing too. The couch I'm sitting on is breathing. It's breathing with me in tandem. I don't know what's going on. Meanwhile, I've got the dude's brother in my ear talking about, "You smoking that shit because you're fucking weak, man. You're trying to smoke that shit because you got to get away from reality, man." I'm like, "Dude, I can't right now. Can I get a glass of milk, dude? You mind if I get a glass of milk? Because I heard milk helps this shit. Can I get a glass of milk?" He's like, "One glass, motherfucker. You don't drink up all my fucking milk. You're not going to come to my house and drink all my motherfucking milk. So you get one glass of milk." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." I drank the milk. I'm starting to calm down. Dude comes in like his ass was on fire, gets right in my face. Motherfucker pulls up a half, almost empty carton of milk. "Motherfucker, what did I fucking tell you? What did I fucking tell you about drinking all my fucking milk?" At this point, I think he's fucking with me. I mean, I'm almost convinced he is just messing with me, and he is just holding up this almost empty jug of milk. "I told you one glass, motherfucker. You drank up all my motherfucking milk. I told you not to come up in my house, drink up all my motherfucking milk. Look at this shit." His brother is standing behind him with a giant fucking bowl of Fruit Loops, like the country crock butter containers. One of those full of fucking Fruit Loops.
Not a bad bowl.
The end. I don't.
Yeah. Didn't have a way to close that one out.
So then I go home, and I'm freaking out for a completely different reason, because I feel like I've straightened up enough to go home, and I'm freaking out and this is why I don't smoke pot, because it's like a good chance I'm gonna like freak out. So, have an anxiety attack. I've got an anxiety disorder when I'm not on anything. I've got a whole new reason to freak out, because it's really late, and I told my mom I was gonna be back like 4 hours ago. So I come in and I'm just waiting for the hammer to drop. And my mom got out of bed long enough to tell me to wash the dishes. And it was the most intense dishwashing session in the history of mankind. I'm just sitting there on the same plate for 10 minutes.
Nice visual bit.
It's a great visual bit, but yeah, you can't see me just staring at my hand like I'm washing a dish.
For the audio listeners.
Oh yeah.
Great visual bits.
We're just gonna have to have someone there. And then Randy started moving his hands because his dumbass didn't realize that people couldn't see him.
It's pretty good. I mean, we are more visual now than we ever have been, but yeah, we do still have audio listeners.
How long have you been going now?
About 3 years.
3 years? Wow.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Me and Randy, what, 4 months now, maybe?
I think
6 months?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Somewhere in the ballpark. I can't really place it.
Randy, we've said this a few times. Randy's the third co-host. I can't keep him around. We'll see what happens. Randy will get sick of me too. One of these days. Alex Jones don't like me.
Alex Jones. I don't think Alex Jones would like us. I don't.
Let's see if we can get him on the
These
show.
guys are pretty funny.
Let's see if we can get him on the show. Do a bit in Alex Jones' voice, asking him to come on the show, and I'll clip it out and send it to him.
Alex, I want to talk to you man to man.
person to person. I'm just trying to switch from Morgan Freeman to Alex Jones. It's like, hold on. All right, Alex, we need to talk. We need to talk man to man. We need to talk freedom fighter to freedom fighter. All right. You need to come on this show. You need to come on Small Town Mentality. You don't have to come to Wyoming. You can stay right there in Texas. You can stay right there, and we can do the whole thing remotely. I can't promise that the globalists won't listen in because if they are listening in, then they'll be the only people who listen to this show anyway. But you got to come. You got to come on the show, and you got to stand up. You got to get this audience. You got to get the Small Town Mentality audience because obviously you need our help.
All right. Clip that out. About an hour in. Let me write that down. I'll send that to him.
Obviously, he needs our ratings. He needs the help of our audience.
He needs the 6 listeners
yeah.
to buy his stuff.
It's I don't know, I'm a little bit lightheaded from all the
from all the Alex Jonesing.
You just scream at the top of your lungs. Yeah, I wish I could do a Sam Kinison. That's what.
Can you do a movie phone? Can you do a movie phone?
What?
You remember movie phone?
Never tried to do that. No.
What's the comedian's name that does that all the time? I can't think.
I don't know. You keep making me do voice. I'm gonna go get another water.
Oh, all right.
That's only fair.
Yeah, let's break down the fourth wall here. Literal fourth wall. Visual bit. So what's kind of your idea? You just want to do history of Evanston, or you want to get some bands?
I actually came up with about 5 different ideas, and I wrote them down. But I was kind of brain dead today.
You got a name?
No.
I
kind of figured I might leave that up to people.
All right.
Get some feedback on that.
Media with Medea.
That was a little cheesy.
Yeah.
So, how many people do you have doing shows here? And
right now it's just me and Mike.
Mm-hmm.
And Randy, but our show and his show.
Okay.
And then she's talking about having a show. Off camera, producer M is talking about doing her own show where she rants about, or not rants, but she was talking. I don't know if you want this out there, but she was talking about because she obsesses about the different subjects for like a week and does a bunch of research and stuff on there. So every week she could have a different
different topic.
Yeah, that she's obsessed over.
I thought about something like that too.
Yeah. So she might come in. I'm gonna make them a key, and if you wanted to record here, I'd make you a key.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah, because I was thinking about doing one that was either open letters where I just rant like a psychopath, or just another one where I would just take different news stories and just clown on all the weirdness. This would be a good time to start that one, actually.
Absolutely.
I still got to make you a beat for this show, but my buttons are gone now. But I was gonna make a drop every time he ranted about something, like rant like Randy. I like to rant like Randy. That'd be a dope beat.
You ever have like a revelation where you're just sitting, not really thinking about anything, and then just something hits you?
Sure.
2 things hit me this week. The first one is I kept talking junk about an entire generation of kids obsessed with the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I was a kid in the 80s. I remember, I was very young, but I was still a kid. And I remember we all talked about the future. And we watched Blade Runner and Star Trek and, Back to the Future. And we all wanted to be in the future so badly. And then we're in the future and all these kids can talk about is how cool it would have been to live in the 80s. And I've got the entire rant about that. And it occurred to me, we're here. They're looking back at the 80s because the 80s always dreamed about what it would be like in 2020. And in a weird way, it's a celebration. When they look back at the 80s, it's like we're here. It's celebrating the time here by appreciating the time that always kind of looked up to this time or look forward to this time. And it kind of turned into a beautiful thing. And I'm like, fuck, there's that joke.
Yeah, the only thing I'd want from Back to the Future is probably that sports almanac where they bring that back, make a bunch of money. That'd be dope.
That was kind of the premise behind there was a show about and it starred James Franco. It was called Kennedy's assassination date, 11/22/63.
Oh yeah, man.
He went back in time, but that's how the guy sustained himself was making bets.
Yeah.
The first guy that did it, the
Yeah.
Franco character, only did it one time, and well, some bad things came. Don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, okay.
No, it's
Spoiler
a good,
alert.
good little series. It really,
Fuck
really
with
was.
the past fucks with you.
Yep, exactly.
Um,
Kick back.
That was an amazing. It's on Hulu. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's on anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
That was an amazing show, man. I cannot recommend it
The
enough.
cars and everything. I mean, the
Oh, yeah.
backdrops were so. I mean, it really represented the '60s well, early '60s. It was really cool.
my wife watched that. I don't think I ever got into that one.
I mean, obviously I wasn't around for the 60s, but I know it just sucks you in.
The 60s?
No, the show
Oh.
just sucks you in, you know.
Yeah.
Feels very firm suspension of disbelief. I don't know. What
Like
are
a
you
shark
trying to get me to
vacuum?
say here?
Or
What kind of perverted thing are you trying to get me to say?
I'm not
here?
trying to
You're
get you to
just
say
baiting
anything.
me into something. What?
I wasn't masturbating you into anything.
Aha.
I had to make it work somehow, I guess.
But no, it was just a good ass show, man.
Yeah, I thought so too.
That's the thing. Stephen King is known for his horror writing, and to me, his horror writing is like the least fucking interesting thing he's written. Yeah, I'm much more of a big fan of like 11, what have you, 63, or The Green Mile or Shawshank Redemption.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are all great.
Yeah, I like the Green Mile and Shawshank.
Stand By Me.
Oh, I was gonna say, what's that movie or that TV show, Prison Break, where it's kind of like, in the end, the premise was like trying to find DB Cooper's money or something, and they tracked it down to Utah. I don't know if you guys ever watched that show.
I didn't watch that, but I have heard that connection with DB Cooper and money dropped in Utah
Maybe we
or
should,
Washington, one of the two.
maybe we should go investigate ourselves.
I don't know.
I mean, it couldn't have been that much. What wasn't it, like $1 million depreciating value? I guess if it's, I mean, maybe the dollar itself because of the year would be worth something, but who knows?
I mean, as money, as cash itself, maybe not, but as a historical find or a historical piece, you know, shit, you can imagine what you could sell that for at auction.
Yeah, true.
We go live every Friday at 7, Rick. I think that's what he's asking.
And how long do you generally go?
About an hour, hour and a half,
Yeah.
depending on. I mean, if you got to bounce, that's cool. We just hang out, man.
I'm gonna try one of these seltzer deals here.
Depending on the guest and how we're feeling, and if, I mean, sometimes we go over, sometimes we go under. It
Sure.
just varies every show. We try to get about an hour and a half in them.
Which I was feeling really lethargic until the Alex Jones bit. That just kind of really amped me up. You just
I got to be honest with you. I don't know who Alex Jones is.
Really?
Yeah.
He is I don't know if he's really a conspiracy theorist, but I think that's what he's labeled as.
That's what I was gathering from you guys. I think
Yeah.
I may have seen him before. I think he's been parodied before too.
Yeah. Oh,
By-
yeah.
by quite a
By a
few.
lot. Yeah. I mean, he's been on Rogan and stuff. He was very, very popular. He had a podcast. He had a show. Everything. He was super popular, and he started getting deeper and deeper in until they pretty much canceled him.
Okay.
They took him off all the platforms. Now the only place
So-
to hear him is his own website.
yeah, I was
Right,
gonna
all
say
right.
he's independent with Infowars.com, which
Yeah, he's been he's been
Okay.
deplatformed though.
All right. Yeah. Now it makes all sense. Okay.
yeah, but yeah, he's deplatformed definitely.
A lot of people
some
are.
said-
You got to be careful, especially with conspiracy theorists.
Yeah, there was one guy who got his Patreon account suspended because he said the N-word, not on Patreon, but on something else. He said the N-word like on a podcast.
No.
And he just said the word like pointing out the word. He wasn't
Yeah.
calling anybody that. He just, instead of the N-word, he said the word.
Mhm.
And it's like he lost his whole Patreon for that. I'm like, damn, he can't even get a warning.
Yeah, and it's all about context, man. I mean, that's the world we live in too. I mean, people tell jokes on Facebook. People read it in a different way. They don't read it like, oh, that's a joke. They read it like, oh, he's being serious. And that's how people get kicked off of there too.
Yeah, no.
It's all about context. Like you can say it if it's in the context of this is something somebody else said or this is a word. I don't think that should be a problem.
I remember,
If it's derogatory, yeah, for sure.
yeah, but it was not too long. I can't remember who said it, but somebody was talking about your intent doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you were making a joke. Your intent doesn't matter. Only all that matters is if you've done harm. And if someone is offended, you can't say that they don't have a right to be offended because your intentions didn't matter. I'm like, intentions always matter. That is the
Yes.
entire point of the show, To Catch a Predator.
Yes.
We know what they was intending. Technically, they ain't done nothing yet, but we knew what they was intending to do. And that's why they go to jail.
Why don't you have a seat right over there?
Exactly.
You mean to tell me they weren't just trying to share cookies?
I would be very hard sell on that theory, dude.
Everybody talks
I
about.
think it's pretty clear what they were trying to do.
Everybody says their favorite part of that show is when they're like, "All right, you're free to go," and then as soon as they walk out, they get tackled by cops.
I just want a compilation of pedos getting attacked by cops played to that Benny Hill chase music, the yakety sax.
Somebody got on
That's
that.
comedy. Or maybe that's just the kind of shit my brain comes up with because I watch literally nothing but cartoons and news.
Comedy. Mark Normand. Anyways, I got nothing. I said anyways. Like moving on.
Like,
And
anyways,
you look
and
at
then
me
you're-
like, "Oh, what you got?"
like you were gonna say something, and I'm just
Put me on the
sitting here
spot.
trying to not. I mean, 2 weeks ago, everybody was pissed off because I was just sitting here all quietly, and they were like, "What's he mad about?" And I'm just like, "What?"
Hey, you talked a lot this episode. I'm proud of you.
Oh yeah,
Come a long way.
I'm really coming out of my shell. Maybe getting over this shyness. maybe one day I could try to pursue a stand-up comedy or something. I don't know.
Have you ever done that?
Yeah, we do the Evanston open mics down at.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. You and AJ?
Yeah.
Okay.
And sometimes Austin.
Okay.
Yeah, you're like 3 years in, aren't you? Open mic.
An open mics.
Yeah.
Shit, I've been doing open mics on and off for probably close to 5 or 6.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. You ever
It's
thought about
just-
comedy?
I tried out for the Tonight Show. It was a
Oh,
statewide
yeah.
competition, and I had to drive to Casper to do it. I took
You were
third,
telling me about that.
but that means I didn't get to go on to a regional competition and ultimately the Tonight Show. So
Do you remember any of your bits?
yeah, I was doing.
Are you comfortable with giving them out?
It was. I remember one of the things I did. I changed positions with Cliff Clavin and Elvis Presley. And I can't remember how that went, but people thought it was funny.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be decent.
I had Cliff saying Elvis lines, and
Yeah, impressions is kind of what's needed, for SNL type stuff.
Mhm.
So, I mean, there was something there. Didn't you say somebody from Wyoming won?
No, I
Oh.
don't think so. I'm not sure who ultimately won that. The person who actually won it was like a 65, 70-year-old lady that she was like a county assessor from Fremont County out of Lander, Riverton, something like that.
She doing
And she did all of her material was age related, and it was funny. She was very funny.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, people keep getting into comedy. I mean, it doesn't matter your age.
Mhm.
People get into comedy.
Yeah, sure.
That's why I'm trying to lose weight. Because I do jokes about being fat, but one day I want to do jokes about being old.
There you go. You can't be fat and old.
You don't see a lot of old fat people.
Well, I mean,
You see a lot of fat people. You don't see a lot of old people, but you don't see a lot of old fat people. And old fat smokers, you can forget it.
it's a demographic, man. Got to niche down. The riches are in the niches.
Niches get stitches.
All right. Well, I got nothing.
I got nothing.
You keep saying all right like you're gonna say something, and then you just you're just like Lucy with the football, just pull it right out as Charlie Brown's about to kick it.
Don't tell me how to be, man.
Have you met me? That's what I do. I criticize and rant and rave a lot, even though I can dish it out, but I really can't take it.
Rant and rave.
Very sensitive.
Yeah. I don't know. What are you doing for Easter? Is everybody locked down on Easter?
Pretty much.
Anybody
Yeah.
doing anything?
Used to have some. I remember in the old days when I was a kid, we'd always go to the Jolly Roger with another family, with the Nelson family. And that was the first time I had ever had crab legs, and I was quite fond of them right from the get-go. And as of late, I usually just did things with my mom and dad because, my brothers and sisters, I got 2 brothers in Seattle, a sister back in Philadelphia, in that area. So I'd go with them, and we might go down to, we'd go up to the golf course here, or we'd go down to Little America and just do the brunch kind of thing for Easter.
Yeah, we used to do the Smiths thing a lot as a kid. I remember where they just dump them down the aisles, all the candy and eggs and stuff.
Oh, is that right?
And you just they'd have different age groups for different aisles, and you just like ran and tried to pick up as much. And then with my kids, we did the state park and the ball fields. They all, most of those places have eggs. This year, I guess we're just going to grandma's and doing it in the backyard.
Sure. Yeah. What else can you do?
Yeah. You can't be around a lot of other people, so.
I'll probably watch Easter service on Facebook.
There you go. Do you want a link to my mom's?
Yeah, sure. Why not? That's actually been a plus because I've gotten to hear like a lot of churches are live streaming now because they can't hold congregation inside. So it's like I get to hear a lot of different points of view about stuff,
I hooked my mom up 2 weeks ago with StreamYard service we've been using because they needed some help with streaming the church service.
Okay.
So she called me and I gave her a bunch of links and stuff to try, and so I guess they've been StreamYarding it.
Cool.
Yeah, seems to be working out so far. She said it was working out.
Where do you generally get most of your audience? Is it via Facebook? Is it via YouTube?
I think it's a mix of both.
Is it?
Yeah. Lately, the last 2 episodes we've been going to Facebook, and so far the interaction has been decent. So
Cool.
Facebook is where the audience was. We had way more followers on there than we did YouTube. So
yeah. So I was encouraged to tell the story about the first time I tried edibles, since I told the story about the first time I smoked pot. Okay, so background information. This was not some brownies that you get at your buddy's house in high school because you got curious one day and whatever else. No, this was the professional grade shit from Colorado. Now, first thing is this was after they had first legalized it in Colorado, and there really should be a sign on the door that just says, "We're not fucking around." We're not fucking around. We're not playing. Although, in her defense, the girl that gave it to us, she told us, "Dude, don't eat these things all at once." There's like these little carrot cake things about the size of a 50-cent piece. She's like, don't eat these things more than one at a time, man. Go easy on these things. They're pretty strong. And I'm like, you don't know where I come from. You don't know me. Yeah, don't tell me this. So I eat the first one, and nothing. I'm waiting and nothing happens. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to pull that second one out and I'm going to eat about half of it since I'm not feeling anything, because obviously these things are too weak. I sit down. I'm continuing to wait. And I start to feel pretty good. I'm starting to, I'm feeling all right. This thing's starting to kick in. I'm digging this. So I get up off the couch and I'm like, wait, what the hell was I about to do? I was about to do something. It was very important. I had to do it, but the fuck was bathroom. I had to go to the bathroom. That's right.
That's it.
Okay. It's number 1 or number 2? Which one's the one where you sit down? Okay. Just, take care of my business in here, come out, wash my hands. Again, very intense washing.
Randy again started gesturing at his hands because he didn't know that they couldn't see him.
And then I'm just like, okay, maybe I've done too much. Maybe this is bad. Maybe this is the fuck was I saying? I should write a book. I've been wanting to write a book for a while. I'm going to sit down and write. This is what writers do, right? They get fucked up and then they write shit and then they come back and edit it when they're sober or whatever. I'm going to write a book right after I make a sandwich. I'm going to make this. What the fuck was I about to do? Okay. And about this time, Emily is like, I'm tired. I'm going to bed. I'm like, yes, bed. Beautiful idea. Excellent. Yes, go to bed. I'm going to go to bed and I'll be fine because I am way too high. So I'm just going to lie down, get comfortable, and I'm going to go. No. I can't go to bed because if I go to sleep right now I'm too high, and my spirit is not going to be able to find my body, and I'm going to be like in a coma for the rest of my life if I go to bed right now because I am really high, and my spirit's not going to find my body. And it just went on like this for the rest of the fucking night. The end. I don't know. I never know how to end these things.
I've never tried edibles.
It's a completely different beast, and
I've smoked out of a can. That's about it. We had this a gas mask that we hooked a Gatorade bottle to, and then
you made it a grass mask.
grass mask, exactly. And then we put a big pin in the Gatorade bottle, and then some tin foil on top. Worked out pretty good. Honestly, I don't think we ever smoked weed out of there. I think we had shisha, like banana shisha.
And what is that?
Shisha is for like hookahs,
Oh, okay. All right.
so it's like just flavored tobacco.
Right. Okay.
Which was everywhere for like 10 minutes, and then now you can't find it anywhere.
Oh, you can find it a few places in town. I think Smoke Friendly still sells it, and then the Sinclair down there on Bear River Drive.
Yeah,
I think he's got it.
because I've got a hookah, but
Can't find shisha or coals.
exactly, yeah, and I've got like a vape setup that you can make it into like a vape hookah,
Nice.
and when I found out I can't vape because it makes me short of breath, I've just got nothing I can do with this damn hookah.
Well, you just go old school on it, I guess.
Yeah.
But if you ever need flavored juice, go down to a Witch's Vape Shop downtown Evanston.
Well, I certainly hope it vapes better than Spunk Lube, because Spunk Lube is not made for vaping. It is made for one thing and one thing only, and that's to serve as a lubricant. Now, it is an excellent lubricant, but it's not something that you should ever put in a vape pen for any reason.
I got that out of the way.
But you can save 15% on your Spunk Lube if you go to spunklube.com and enter promo code STMPod.
If you ever needed help getting the spunk lube off your junk, go to ballwash.com. Clean those balls off. Ballwash.com, promo code STMPod.
But you wouldn't, because Spunk Lube is an excellent product, and it comes off just as easy as it goes on. You can just wash it right off. We're not robbing Peter to pay Paul here. We're not throwing one advertiser under the one sponsor under the bus for the other.
Speaking of Peter, go to Spunk.
What was that?
Speaking of Peter, go to spunklube.com. Oh man, the sponsors love us. They've got to. They've got to. Well, I think we did it, man.
All right.
You guys good? You want to play Bone after this? Send me a link.
Yeah.
Sometime this weekend.
I can find something. Sure.
Sweet. You got anything else to plug? You got some websites.
That's the thing. I mean, just like everybody else, life turned upside down. Passions, pursuits, those kind of things. I mean, we generally had at least 2 gigs, if not 3, sometimes 4 a month. Or I might have a DJ gig, and those things are, like everybody else. They've just gone by the wayside. So,
got no online presence?
What's that?
Yeah, I was like, give out some of your stuff, man. Maybe some people look.
Well, we're basically a cover band, so we've got a couple of originals that our main drummer wrote back when he was with another band that we brought back into prominence. But most of the time, we were just doing covers. But very accomplished musicians that I have the pleasure of fronting the band for, because they've been the lead guitarist that died. He and the bassist had been together 34 years, I think, before Cookie died, and they're just amazing musicians. There was something that happened every night that we played that I'm just going, oh man, and not just the lead player, the bass player. Somebody would do something that was just like we've got one for we were doing "Won't Get Fooled Again" by The Who, and our drummer. About the time that scream that Daltrey does, he just goes into this impromptu solo, and that's why I was always filming. I wasn't singing that song; I just got done. So anytime I wasn't filming, I'd grab my camera out of the tripod. And when we were playing at the Royal, Rhett just went into this drum solo, this impromptu thing. It was short. I mean, it matched the song, but crowd erupted, and it was so cool. And I was just so glad that I had the camera there to catch that. It was only a minute's worth of audio, but it was really cool.
Wow. But you guys are on Facebook at Bone Band. Right?
Rock is to the bone. Yeah.
Rock is to the bone.
They came up that's a play on an old phrase, beauty is only skin deep, but rock is to the bone.
There you go.
Yeah. So that's where they had T-shirts made up with that back in the 80s. See, they were around a long time. I met them at the old Whirlin. And in fact, Tim Lynch, who councilman, he was running the Whirlin, and he started bringing in bands. And we'd usually have them Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And so they'd be on a circuit out of Denver. And then there was a local band that was really good called Zoltan. And then Bone was coming up out of Salt Lake. But the Zoltan and Bone just became house favorites. So they played at least once a month at the Whirlin. And yeah, it was usually a Thursday, Friday, Saturday thing. And okay, there's a thing that, here's how good these guys were. When Sammy Hagar joined, I knew it was coming because I was a fan of both Hagar and Van Halen, right? And I knew they were coming out with an album. Well, when that song "Why Can't This Be Love" hit, I called John Carter because I knew him from he's on Arrow 103.5, but I knew John pretty well, still do. But it was Rock 103 at the time. We had a transmitter up here. We used to pick it up that way. I said, "Can you play that again?" Because I wanted to record it. He goes, and this is before I got into radio, so this is a long time ago. He goes, "I can't do that, Mark." He says, there's rotations, this is big time radio here. He says, "Call Eric Johnson up tonight at 6 and have him play it." I said, "Okay." So I called Eric and let him know. And he said, "Okay, it'll be about 2 songs." So I record the cassette. I take it to those guys that night. They're playing and I let them hear it. They go, "Wow, that's dynamite, man." So, Saturday, they come into the Whirlin in the afternoon. We played till like 2:00 in the morning, bars closed and everything. Everybody goes home, whatever. And they came in about 1 or 2 in the afternoon and learned that song, and we performed it that night. So a song that was just released the day before by Van Halen, or Van Hagar, if you want to call it that. The first cut was, "Why Can't This Be Love?" And we pulled it off that next night.
Nice.
So that's how good those guys were. And people will throw out songs and they go, "Do you know it?" And I'll go, "Well, yeah, I kind of know it, but I don't know the lyrics." So I'll pull it up on my phone, but they know it. They'll just start playing stuff. "Hey, do you know that song by Eddie and the Cruisers?" "Do you know it, Mark?" "Yeah." "Well, yeah." So we just do it. They're
Nice.
they're just very accomplished musicians that I'm very fortunate to be aligned with, for sure.
The cover jam band.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's staying on top of it. Yeah. Just to have it out the next night. That's impressive.
Randy, you got some plugs?
Yeah. 2.5 Amigos just went live 5 minutes ago, and I'm taking that very fucking personally, Mark.
Ooh.
Thank you. Thank you very much for trying to upstage us, you bastard. At Restless Native on Twitter, Native spelled with an 8. Randy Garner Humor on Instagram, Randy Garner Humor on TikTok, and of course my Facebook page. And I've been putting out a lot more videos lately, a lot more skits.
I've been watching them.
Yeah.
I've shared a few.
I'll check it out, man.
Like you and one other dude.
You gotta start making stuff public so I can share it to
But the shit on my
Instagram.
My private Facebook page is private, but the shit on my comedy page, because I have the Randy Garner comedy page,
Oh, okay.
and I'll send you an invite like that. I don't know if you're.
I don't
not
know if
already.
I'm on there.
Yeah.
But I've tried to share
But
your
yeah,
stuff to like
that's
our
all.
page.
That's all public.
Yeah, we got to give it the fans
I'll
what they
put
want,
everything
man.
How did you enjoy your sports writing career?
Man, I love the hell out of
Did
it,
you?
man. For someone who really never was interested in sports,
Mhm.
I enjoyed it. I mean, especially reporting like here in Evanston, man.
Yeah,
These kids-
it was all local based. Yeah,
yeah. These kids have heart,
yeah, they do.
and it's just a privilege to see, to report on kids that are just that dedicated to what they do. I mean, these kids are getting signed to colleges left and right, and
No, we have good coaches. The one thing, Randy, I think we have and still have the best home court advantage in the state of Wyoming. I've been to every gym but Sheridan as far as the big schools are concerned,
right.
and nobody had a better hometown crowd, hometown feel than Emmett. Green River was probably the second best, to tell you the truth. And I think once you get 2 high schools or 3 high schools or whatever, you lose that connection between a city and the school.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah, I still see people going to Friday Night Lights, man.
Yeah.
that's a big part of town. Even if they don't have kids playing, they're still going and watching the games.
Community comes out. Same with basketball, football
Yeah.
and basketball,
Which
and volleyball now.
Yeah.
Hell, they get a great crowd for volleyball.
Which, full disclosure, I was really critical of that at first. I was like, you're going to go to a high school football game, and then you see these kids play, and it's like, okay, wow, okay, wait, they're on another level. This is that was one of the more fun things about it, was I got to go to the games, and that was my job.
Well, they got the parades.
Only got hit in the groin with a football once, which
now there's a story.
They got the parades. They got the fireworks. They got the cannon. Everyone downtown, all the shops have Go Evanston Red Devils. It's very community.
And it was so much fun. Yeah, photographing all that stuff, man.
And that's the thing. I marvel at the guys that used to have to do it with film, because I wasn't a good photographer when I was doing that gig either. I don't know if that's a hobby or passion of yours. I mean, you get a little better because you learn how to set up shots, but I just figured in the digital age, we've got a great advantage. And for me, it was quality through quantity, and I knew I would catch, at least a decent shot, or at least hopefully I would. And, but then you started to learn a little bit about where to situate yourself to get a better angle and stuff. And some of the shots I took, like you took a lot of them that never hit the Herald.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's the thing, is my grandmother was a photographer.
Okay.
And I remember back in the day when she would walk around with film all the way on her. I have her old camera strap with the little slots where you can put the different types of film in there.
Oh, okay.
And she would have to carry like 3 or 4 different bags. So I had no excuses as far as photography goes, because I could just call her at any moment and be like, Grandma, this is what I'm photographing. This is what I'm taking pictures of. What do I need to do? Where does my ISO need to be? Where does my shutter speed need to be?
I was just thinking of a premise. Sorry. You were talking about the camera, and I remember old film cameras had those canisters, and that's what people kept their weed in.
Yeah.
And I was like, what happened to now that we're digital? Where are you keeping your weed now?
I don't know, because weed's legal in a lot of places, so it's kind of a moot point. Which reminds me, Randall Garner Photography on Instagram as well. So that's not really as active as it used to be.
You can follow me at Never Been Funny with 1 E on Twitter, and you can follow us everywhere on all things social media at STM Pod. Across the board on everything, pretty much, that you can find us on. And DramaCityProductions.com for all things network. Check out all the shows on the network. And that's it.
Yeah. To bring it back, though, man, I've said it on several occasions, man, if I ever went back into news reporting, it would be in sports.
Would it?
Yeah. Because that was just a blast.
But you said, like, self-admitted, you weren't a big sports fan going in. See?
No, not going in. And I don't think I've followed sports very closely since I haven't been doing sports, but it was a blast doing it. It was a blast doing the job. I mean, maybe that's what it was.
Do you still write a lot? I mean, obviously some comedy bits and stuff like that, but
mostly just writing jokes, writing skits, little funny videos. Sometimes I'll just do personal writing if I see something or end up in a situation where I feel like I need to think things out. So it's kind of like journaling more than anything.
Yeah. A lot of power in that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, well, when you write something, you have to think about it in order to write about it.
It gets real when you put it on paper.
Yeah. I don't know if I have the focus for fiction. I've picked up a couple of fiction projects and never really saw anything through with it. So.
All right. Well,
the end.
End.
Well, thank you, gentlemen, and appreciate.
Thanks for coming on.
I just wanted to come by and kind of hang out, but
yeah, man, we love having you. You're welcome anytime.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that.
Until next week, go fuck yourself. Bye.
Oh, that's nice of you. Bye.
Oh.